Good morning, I'm Brenda Hillard. I can be found at createwithbrenda.com. Just want to welcome you to another video for my 12 weeks of Halloween. This is week number 2, and I'm pretty excited to show you what I've created, and I'll give you the measurements and kind of the step-by-step directions so you will have the opportunity as well. Let's take care of a little bit of housekeeping. The code you see here is my August host code. If you are looking to place an order for Stampin' Up! Products and you do not have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to earn your business. And like I said, I can be found at createwithbrenda.com. There's a Shop Now button. And when you place your order, if it's under $150 in product, please use the host code. Every month I have a host code gift. This month I am, for every $50 in merchandise that is purchased, I am giving the Everything Amazing stamp set absolutely free with your $50 product order. And that takes care of our host code. The other item I have is our holiday catalog is due to release on September 4th. Many of my customers, or many of you, should have received yours in the mail. If you haven't, please contact me and I will get one out to you right away. If you are not one of my customers and would like to receive the catalog and do not have a demonstrator, please go again to createwithbrenda.com. There is a link to request the catalog. You are not going to want to miss out on this. I would love to show you page by page what's in here, but we're only allowed to show the cover at this time. So if you need a catalog, you know where to find me and how to get one. So as I was saying, we are doing the 12 weeks of Halloween. This is week number 2. And is what we're going to be creating today, or is what I'm going to show you how to make, is this this card using the stamp set, actually the bundle called Wonderfully Wicked. And this is a buckle style card. I don't know if you've seen these before or not, but it opens. And then on the inside, have a wicked good time. And to close it, again, you just fit it in the slot and close it down. I thought it was really cute. I hope you do too. So here's the products that we'll be using to create this card. Again, from last week's video, we'll be using the Monster Bash Designer Series paper, 12 sheets of 12 by 12, double-sided, and the other side is just as adorable as the front side. So there's our Monster Bash. Today we're going to be using the back side of this one. It's got the basic gray smoky slate, kind of a medallion print, I guess you'd call it. The next product we're using is the embossing folder, Stylish Scroll. And is where I used that was on this piece of smoky slate. And I don't know if the text, oh, I guess it does. I didn't know if the texture showed up on the camera or not, but so that's what that is the embossing folder. This is a standard embossing folder and it does not require the insert. We also will be using the Monster Bash enamel shapes. There's the basic gray, basic black. There's 2 different styles of crows, the skull and crossbones, and then the tombstones. And these are adhesive backed. The bundle that I talked about that we'll be using is the Wonderfully Wicked. It's the Cling stamp set. Cling, if you're not familiar, is the new style that actually sticks to the blocks. This is a fun set. As you saw on the inside of my card, I was able to take the Have a Wicked Good Time. So I stamped in the Memento black, and then of course the Wicked is in the pumpkin pie. I just love the way this card closes. I think it adds such a cool design element. And then this is the Wicked dies. There's just 2 dies. There's the Wicked, and then of course these little spiders. The one other die that we'll be using, and these have become kind of my go-to for all of my cards lately, are the stitched nested labels. And they're really unique in that, let me grab this other piece and you can see what I'm talking about. So when you die cut, you not only get the stitched piece here, but you have the negative to use as well. So if I wanted to use this as a mat and then just pop this up, I can do that. They're really, they add a lot to a card, and there's lots of sizes to choose from, and they are not, they perforate really nice, and they're easy to get out of the dies. So that's the stitched nested label dies. So that's our products outside of our acrylic blocks, our snips. One more thing, actually two. I used the glittered organdy ribbon, which is found in the annual catalog, and we'll be using this label punch to make our slot for the buckle. Our pieces of cardstock that we're using today, I have basic black, measures 4 1/4 by 8 3/4, scored at 5 1/2. So we'll just fold that right now. I have another piece of basic black, measures 3 inches by 8 1/2 inches, scored at 4 1/4. Fold that. I have a piece of pumpkin pie, 3 1/4 inch by 4 1/2 inches. I have our DSP from the Monster Bash suite, and that measures 3 inches by 4 inches. You need 2 pieces of Whisper White, 2 3/4 inch by 4 inches. And then I did a piece of the Smoky Slate, 2 5/8 inch by 3 7/8 inch. And this is the one then that I ran through our stylish scroll embossing folder. All right. So to assemble our card, the first thing we're going to do is take our 3 inch by 4 inch piece of Designer Series paper. We're going to add some snail. And you only need the outside edges because we're going to punch, and I'll show you that here in just a second. So I'm going to adhere to the fold on the 4 1/4 by 8 3/4 inch piece that we scored at 5 1/2. It just goes on that front flap. Then I'm going to take our label punch, and what I'm going to do is push this in, and I want the edge right here to match on the DSP, and I'm going to push it in just to the fold, and then I'm going to punch. And I'm going to do the same thing down at this end so that this edge matches up with our DSP. And then I'm going to punch. And that's what gives us our slot for the buckle. All right. So next we'll work on layering up this piece. And what I want to do is, I had die cut already a piece of Whisper White cardstock, and that's what we're going to use to stamp our medallion for the top of our card. So to stamp the medallion, I'm going to use basic gray, and I'm going to take the spiderweb stamp from the Wonderfully Wicked. I'm just going to ink that up. And I'm going to stamp up here. Good. And I'm going to take our Memento Black ink. Oh, my thumbs are not working today at all. So here's our Happy Halloween. And it's okay that it overlaps into our spider web because it's a darker ink and so it'll show up. And then the next step is our little die cut spiders from the Wicked dies. And I'm just going to use a glue dot on this. And we'll have that crawling in the spider web. Looks good. Let's take our embossed piece of basic gray. This is kind of a cool embossing folder, and it won't show up well, I know, on camera, but you have a flat side and then you have a raised side, and I chose to put the raised side up. So, and I'm just going to mount that onto one of our 2 3/4 by 4 inch pieces of Whisper White. Like that. And then this gets mounted onto the flap of our 3 inch by 8.5 inch piece of basic black that was scored at 4 1/4. Just like that. And then this whole thing, so really is all we're doing is layering it up. It seems like a lot of steps, but I think it's just because I'm explaining. But we're going to take our piece of pumpkin pie and we're going to mat that on there like that. Okay, so then before I adhere this onto the inside, I want to stamp just in case I make a boo-boo, and then I have another side. We're going to take the basic gray again, or I'm sorry, smoky slate, and we're just going to stamp another spider web. But this time, I want to do that have a wicked good time. So I'm going to take the pumpkin pie with the wicked stamp, and I'm going to stamp the wicked first. Okay? And then I'm going to move back to my Memento Black, and I'm going to stamp up the have a, and we're going to give that right up here. And a good time. All right. So that's our stamping. We're going to take one more of our little die cut spiders, and I'm going to add a glue dot. We'll put that. And now this is going to layer on the flap that's adhered to the pumpkin pie. All right, centered. Now we're just going to close that whole thing. And what I'm going to do is add snail to the back side of the pumpkin pie here. I'm going to give this kind of some good reinforcement. And then what I want to do is take the flap and put it into our slot, and then I'm just kind of centering that up, and then I can press the whole thing down because I have the snail on the back, which is going to allow me to pop it open. While I have it open, I'm going to take our organdy ribbon, that's the glittered organdy from the annual, and I'm just going to tie a little knot here on to the left of the slot that we punched. Tying ribbon when you're videoing is always so fun. Anybody that makes videos knows what I'm talking about here. And I suppose I could make it longer, but waste not, want not, right? All right, there's our bow. Or our knot, I should say. It's not really a bow. All right, so now we can slot our card. And I'm just going to take some of our dimensionals, and I'm going to do 4. And I think I'm going to add one more, just like right in the middle, because of our humidity here in Minnesota. The cardstock, sometimes it has a tendency to sag a little bit. And I'm just going to add that right here on our flap. And our last touch is going to be a few of the enamels. And I'm going to I'll do the basic gray. And then I'll do a couple of the basic black, the smaller ones. And I always like to work in odd numbers with my embellishments. I'll just put one down there. All right, there it is. And who wouldn't love to receive this card and have a wicked good time? All right, stay tuned, everybody. Week 3, Halloween coming up next week. And I hope you enjoy week 2. Thanks. Bye.